Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at the Tentacle Windows virus. This virus actually operates in the Windows 3.x operating system environment and infects new exe files. And those exes are files written for Windows to differentiate them from the old MS-DOS exe executables. So just know when we're referring to this virus infecting exes, it is infecting Windows executables, not DOS ones. Before we get into the virus, I just want to demonstrate real quick how Windows 3.1 runs on this machine. We're launching Paintbrush. You can hear the hard drive softly click. It loads in a few seconds, which, while not great, it is a 386. What can you really expect? Let's open Calculator. So a few seconds of hard drive activity, and we are in our application. And Notepad, it's quick, less than a second. Pretty impressive, really. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the virus itself. I've got to find my proper window here. Here it is, it's in my games folder, because this virus was actually spread via a posting to a cracking group news group. And this was purported to be a crack for a game or software called Dogs, which is some sort of desktop companion. You can see kind of in the background on the cover art, there's an Excel spreadsheet, but then there's some playful dogs to take the boringness out of your office daily tasks. Yeah, I don't know, the 90s were a rough time. But anyway, this is a crack for it. But what they didn't know was their precious Dogs software crack was carrying a virus. In this case, the Tentacle virus. When we run it, it's going to pick one other executable in its current directory to infect, as well as 2 random executables in the Windows directory. Of course, these games are just in the Windows directory anyway, so just pick any 3 random files in the Windows directory and we're going to infect them. So here we go, you ready? Get your timers ready, we're going to run the Tentacle virus. Here we go. It's doing something. We're still going. Not done yet. I don't have a timer, so I need you to tell me how long this takes. Oh my goodness, it's still going. We done? Oh, maybe? Possibly? It unfocused the window. Does that mean we're done infecting files? Can we see our crack so we can finally play our precious Dogs game? Maybe? Or did we just freeze the entire computer? Yeah, we froze the entire computer. Okay, that has never happened before when I've attempted to run this virus. So we're gonna restart. One thing I should mention, it's very unstable. There's everyone's favorite seek test, except I accidentally left a disk in the drive. We might have to do that again later. It's just not the same seek test we're used to. Okay, let's get back into Windows. Okay. We are now back in Windows. Seems to be running smoothly, well, smoothly as it can be. And real quick, I want to try Dogs just one more time. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you suffer through that whole process again. I just want to see if it'll actually show me the window it usually shows me. Here we go. Okay, this time it worked properly. So this is what you're supposed to see if the virus doesn't crash the entire computer. We see dogs 1.08p unlock code, dogs unlock code for this computer, and then I'm assuming it's just 4 random digits and then 0000, because every other time I've run this I get some random string or some random number between 1 and 9999. In this case it's very obviously fake. I don't think dogs is going to be cracked with a code of 99990000. But hey, I mean, it was the 90s, and the early 90s at that, and software protection strategy was not quite up to the same levels that it is today. If any aspiring game developers are out there developing their games, you know, trying to send them to your friends on Discord, my word of advice, don't make this the code to unlock it. This virus just went ahead and told everybody what it is, so you might want to go ahead and change those codes now. So now that we've infected about 6 files on our computer in the Windows directory, we're going to change the time, because when this virus infects files between midnight and 15 minutes past midnight, its behavior changes slightly, although not in a very obvious way. So we open date and time, we're going to make you 12, and we're going to give us enough time to have 14 minutes. That's good enough for this video. 14 minutes to infect files to see this new behavior. So we're going to try and find a file that Tentacle has infected. And you'll know it's infected because it'll take so much longer to start up. So we checked Paintbrush before, let's check it again. Is Paintbrush good? Nope, you hear that clicking? That telltale rhythmic clicking means it is now searching for the same kinds of files to infect that we were seeing before. So you might notice you have something going on with your computer when it takes about 10 times longer for applications to start up. Of course, Windows 3.1 being Windows 3.1, it's sort of hard to say whether that's just Windows rather than a virus. And I'm cutting some of the wait time out of this video. It's still taking just as long as that first time that we ran that dogs crack program. Here we go, here's Paintbrush. Excellent. So it still works. We can draw our pretty pictures, and we can close and tell it no, we don't want to save it. We want to lose it to the sands of time forever. But anything we now run will infect some more files if it is infected. So let's see, calculator, has it been infected yet? It would appear so. It's taking its sweet time. Alright, we're back. We finally launched Calculator about 6 years later. It's already time to upgrade to Windows 98. And now we can take a look at that behavior I mentioned. So if we take a look at Paintbrush, we know it was infected before we changed the time to midnight and between 15 after midnight. If we look at its icon, it's the regular Paintbrush icon. So here it is, looks good. Okay, that's fine. But now we're going to try and find one of those newly infected executables between that time frame. Let's check terminal. I don't know which one it is, so we're going to be hunting for a little bit here. Terminal looks good. How about the clock? Clock looks normal to me. Card file? Wait a minute. That doesn't look like the thing we just saw. Card file. Card file. That clearly says Tentacle. And if we click OK, the icon gets updated. So if we run card file, it is infected and we will hear that clicking noise. So here's card file, it runs normally, but if we minimize this, we can see on our weird desktop void, it's got that same tentacle icon. So between midnight and 15 minutes after midnight, if a file is infected, Tentacle will replace its icon with this tentacle. And just so everybody gets the reference, this is from the LucasArts game Day of the Tentacle, which is from 1993. It's a point-and-click adventure game, and it's pretty highly regarded and has a remastered version from a few years ago on Steam, so if this is enough to intrigue you to check it out, I encourage you to go do so. It's a good enough game to get a virus to use a picture from it to replace icons on your computer, so I mean, hey, that's a great shining endorsement. One other thing I did want to mention is that the machine can get pretty unstable with some of these infected files. Oh, it would appear File Manager is also infected. Go figure. I'm not going to spend too long, but I'm just going to run a few files and see if we can get Windows to display some odd behavior that I've seen in the testing process before I started recording. That is, if File Manager ever opens. Okay, we're in File Manager, and real quick, I just want to see, did it replace File Manager's icon? Excellent, it did. Okay, I want File Manager to be the tentacle. Excellent. Okay, where is my File Manager? There it is. Okay. Now, I'm going to start running some random things and just seeing what it does. So here is an example of that crash behavior I mentioned earlier. I ran M386, which should normally exit to DOS for a brief second and then return back to Windows. It's used by a few applications to do some special stuff. I don't know the in-depth technical details about it, but it's not supposed to do this. And sometimes when this happens, I get nothing in the directory listings. In this case, it seems like it's working properly, which is nice. Can I run programs? Edit appears to be not functioning at the moment. I'm going to try running a few DOS com files just to see what they do. Okay, so format just froze the machine. So this is what I was talking about, instability. You get some EXEs that get corrupted like this, and when you run them, it either kicks you out to DOS and does something weird, or just freezes the machine like we saw in the beginning of this video. So it's definitely not the most stable virus. I mean, it's a lot better than CAW, which we reviewed last time on this channel, but I mean, still, you don't want any instability in your virus if you want it to get anywhere. So we're going to restart, listen to the seek test one more time, and wrap this up. Oh, I have to hard reset. Okay, you get the full boot sequence. Enjoy. That's a 2 boot sequence for one video special, so I hope you enjoyed that. And I just want to see if I can get that odd behavior I mentioned earlier to happen for the video. If it can, that would be great, because I got this weird DOS prompt that wouldn't show me any files, but it would attempt to run them, but it also just kind of crashed like we just saw with format. Okay, whatever is trying to run on startup is infected and it's taking forever. I guess the program manager? Yep. Okay. Thanks, program manager. Okay, well, let's hurry up and wait for the file manager to launch now. After I launched File Manager, I decided to go back through and see just how many of these had been infected within that time frame. And it seems it was 6. So now we have 6 lovely tentacle icons in our main window. Anyway, I'm going to try and crash this machine again. Is the Microsoft antivirus infected? Well, not within that time frame anyway. Let's try running it. It appears to be normal. Yeah, it's not infected. That's a plus. Go antivirus. I'm pretty sure Tentacle came about after whenever these virus definitions were published. But we're going to see if it can find anything. Oh. It didn't find it in memory, so I don't have high hopes of it finding it in anything else. It passed right over Tentacle.exe, so I don't think it found the virus. And this was a huge problem back in the 90s and early 2000s especially, when people would not update their antivirus signature definitions. So they may very well have had an antivirus, but without ever upgrading what it's able to detect, all these newer threats were able to get through and change their icons into tentacles. I'm just glad the scan doesn't take over a minute per file like trying to launch these EXEs does. Alright, we're clean. Awesome, good to go. I didn't really crash the machine like I had hoped it would. So yeah, Tentacle is much more stable than Caw was that we saw last week. It's not destructive. It's got this neat tentacle payload, which is fun to look at. It's not harmful, maybe a little annoying if you can't get your original icons back. But it's a fairly harmless lesson in the perils of pirating software. And that is about it for the Tentacle Windows virus. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.